For 16 years, he traveled around the Lowcountry and beyond to bring the best of the Lowcountry to Charleston television viewers. And in this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I talk exclusively with Michael Trouche. Michael, you know, you left Charleston Television in 2002. And a lot of people haven't seen you since then.
That's right.
Tell me, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Quintin. I've been actually, I was looking for things to do, and I thought, why not do something that's essentially Charleston, and that is to give tours about Charleston and to write books on Charleston. I've actually written 2 books on Charleston, Charleston Yesterday and Today, and The Charm of Charleston, which are both popular local books.
That's right.
And I started my own tour company, Charleston Footprints, and it's now the highest rated walking tour in the city by TripAdvisor, which is a very prestigious honor. So it's great, and there's so much about the city that's so great. I mean, it's just such a combination of different cultures. We've got people here from all over America, from Europe, from Africa. We've got plants here from Asia, South America, Europe, other parts of America. So you got a great natural melting pot and a great historic city. So I love doing this, and I love being here, and I'm still out in front of people. I'm just not in front of the camera anymore.
That's right.
Right.
And unfortunately, in 2002, your contract was not renewed by Channel 5.
We don't want to get into all that. Yeah. I mean, basically, they just decided I guess that they didn't want to do that anymore, Carolina Camera, which seems silly because nobody else was doing anything. Nobody does that anything like that today. And it was a really wonderful human interest segment all about this area and its people. And I think I still have people every day tell me how much they miss it. So,
yes, I miss it too.
Yeah.
But the question I wanted to ask is that after being there for almost 20 years, how did it feel? I mean...
it felt like it was the end of something. That just things, like there's always a beginning, there's always an end. And that was just, the time was to move on.
Yes.
And not to look back and not to be, angry about it or upset about it, just to look at it as a new opportunity. And that's actually this has been a great opportunity for me because this allows me to be the boss, which I like. Yes.
And with that being said, do you miss being in television news?
Well, I miss doing the stories. I remember we got to do some wonderful things. We went to great places. We went to Brazil, we went to Vietnam, we went to China, we went to South Africa, with all the kind of things we did here in the Lowcountry with different people, snake hunts and submarines and scuba diving and bull fights and bull riding, I shouldn't say bull fights, but all kinds of things. So I miss the stories, but I mean the day-to-day grind, no, I don't miss that too much.
Well, put on your memory hat for me for a moment. I understand that you actually came to Channel 5 in 1986.
No, 84.
84, pardon me.
Yeah.
What led you to there?
They contacted me, asked me to come over. They wanted somebody who could actually write a grammatical sentence, which was unheard of in television at that time, and apparently still is. And so they offered me the job, and I took it. Yeah.
Is it true that you were working at the Post and Courier?
That's right. I was a newspaper writer at the time, and so they thought the writing background would be good, and that was a good choice, and it fit very well because the writing style was one thing that a lot of people liked.
Yes. Yeah. Well, let's continue to walk down memory lane.
Okay.
I understand that you actually graduated from the University of Georgia.
I did.
Talk to me about your years there.
Oh, that was so long ago. I think it was before the Civil War. But it was back, when it was fun to go to college, and I wanted to go someplace that had lots of girls and a good football team, so I picked University of Georgia. And it was a good time. I had a great 4 years and actually managed to graduate on time.
That's awesome. Yeah. And later you went and got your master's from the University of South Carolina in history.
Yes.
Tell me, when did the history bug bite you?
Well, I've always been, you can't grow up in Charleston and not be interested in history.
That's right.
And actually I used to teach history, both on the college and high school level. I taught, while at University of South Carolina, there was a program run by the Department of Defense called Program Afloat College Education, where college professors, adjunct professors, were hired out by the university to go teach on Navy ships as they went around the world. So I got the travel bug and the history bug at the same time. And then I came back and taught for a while at Porter Goud School as a history teacher over there.
Yes, and as you mentioned earlier, I ran into you a couple of years ago on East Bay Street down there, and you actually talked to me about your business, your history tour. Talk to me more about that.
Well, basically it's a comprehensive tour of Charleston where we go for 2-hour group tours and wander historic streets and gardens and alleyways, go through areas like the Dock Street Theater and St. Michael's Church inside, some beautifully crafted buildings inside, look at the sweet grass baskets and the wrought iron gates and the cobblestones and all the beautiful things about Charleston. Look at the blooming plants, like right now this time of year you've got cassia and camellia in bloom. There's always something in bloom in Charleston. So there's always lots to see and lots to talk about, and it's a very full 2 hours that people really enjoy.
And you also mentioned this earlier, you are on offer, a successful offer.
Yeah.
After so many years in television news, why did you get into the book publishing business?
Well, because somebody asked me. Again, just like TV, somebody contacted me, asked me if I'd like to write a book on Charleston, and I did.
Yes.
They distributed it, which was good because that way I didn't have to pay for it. And it works out so well. I had another offer from a publishing house in Chicago to do a book, Charleston Yesterday and Today, which is a very popular local Charleston book that a lot of people have today.
Yes, indeed. And you are a seventh generation Charlestonian.
Seventh generation. My family came here in the 1790s, and we've lived pretty much, downtown in the historic district ever since.
Yes. And you traveled around the world, like you said, for Carolina Camera. Take me back. What was the most intriguing assignment for you?
Well, I assigned myself. It wasn't. The good thing was I chose the stories I was going to do.
That's
so I didn't really look at it as an assignment. I looked at it as an opportunity.
Sure.
And there were just. There's so many. It's hard to say. I used to love going on the rattlesnake hunts with the Clamp family out in Edison. And it wasn't a hunt. We wouldn't kill anything. They were basically capturing animals to put them on display for their serpentarium to create public education.
Sure.
We also, did a lot of flying. I flew with the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds. Actually, in media people are not supposed to do that, but I can say this now that I'm no longer with them.
Right.
Nobody could remember the second time I did it that I had done it the first time, so I got to do both. I'm the only person probably in the country who's actually a media person who's flown with both the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds, which was a fascinating experience. We jumped out of airplanes, went scuba diving, and then we did a lot of just very nice things with nice people. Learned about, how people made cane syrup in these local certain areas. We learned about a great old fellow that made oak baskets up in Williamsburg County.
Yes.
Just lots of wonderful stories about really interesting people, and I really enjoyed it.
I bet you did.
Yeah.
Well, describe to me the following in one word. Storytelling.
Describe the storytelling in one word?
That's right, yes.
Amazing.
History.
Compelling.
Carolina Camera.
Unbelievable.
Michael Trouche.
Fantastic.
Well, a lot of people know that you love storytelling. You love history. But what else something that people don't know about you?
Well, I don't think people know that I'm as inclined to learning as most people think of kind of an outdoorsy kind of guy, kind of a good old almost frat boy type of mentality. but I'm very interested in scholarship. I've studied. I've got master's work, PhD work. Actually, I didn't finish that because I did kind of get tired of looking at microfilm back in the days of microfilm. But I still do a lot of studying all the time. I love reading, especially historical texts. I'm very knowledgeable about the city. So everything I talk about on my tours, I'm very knowledgeable about. And I've studied languages and botany, and I know lots and lots about flora and fauna, plants and trees all over the Lowcountry. So it's that's the kind of thing that I just constantly am interested in new things.
You spent many days doing history tours. You spent countless amount of hours on television. But what's the next chapter for you?
Next chapter is basically continuing on. I don't look at this as really ending. I don't look at this as a job that I'd ever have to retire from, because it's actually pretty easy physically. We just walk and I talk, and it's very natural and people like it. So I could probably do this, conceivably for decades.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Michael Trouche, it was so good talking to you.
Well, thank you, Quintin. Enjoy it. Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you for the interview.
Anytime.